Time now is 7 o'clock. We will call our meeting to order. Please rise and join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
David Walker?
Here.
I can't hear, so.
Here, he's here.
Okay, Jennifer Eaton?
Here.
Here.
Schultz?
Here.
Bud Schultz?
Here.
Herman Ferguson?
Here.
Yep, he's here.
And Mike Cunningham.
Here. We don't have any changes to the agenda, so I'll entertain the motion to
We
approve.
do,
What?
for the day of the joint meeting, but we're not.
Yeah, we're not.
Sorry. Scratch that.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported. Motioned Walker, supported Schultz, to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, all in favor. The agenda's been approved. Next is approval of the consent agenda, which contains the treasurer's report from October 30th, 2020.
So moved. Support.
Motion by Walker, supported by Chuck Schultz. It's been motioned and supported to approve the agenda as presented, the consent agenda, sorry. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is communications. We have the fire service report from October 2020. The planning commission approved meeting minutes from September 8th, 2020. The planning commission approved meeting minutes from September 16th, 2020. The planning commission meeting synopsis from October 21st, 2020. And the planning commission meeting synopsis from November 10th, 2020.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Walker, supported by Eaton. It's been motioned and seconded to receive communications 1 through 5 and place on file. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? All in favor? Next, public remark. Does anybody have any public comment that they would like to make? Yeah.
Guess that'd be me. Just coming to present more on the 7145 Old US 23. We'd like to proceed forward with dividing the land and doing the motion to amend the ordinance to allow us to put up a small processing facility and butcher shop on the property where we're building.
So I think what you're asking is you'd like the township to amend the ordinance so you could do a small butchering. So what I would need from you would be a letter addressed to the township board,
Okay?
requesting us to make modifications, and
Okay.
then we'll take it from there.
Okay?
We'll get that on an agenda, and we'll have a discussion about it, and see if we want to recommend it over to the planning commission. Probably a good idea for you to be here so we can ask you questions about
Yep.
it, so.
Yeah, we've been in contact with Ross on it quite a bit, so.
Sure.
Help me out, where's that at?
It's just north of Fawcett Road, next
Okay.
to the suburban propane
Oh,
there.
yeah, okay, I know where you
Just north of that.
Got it, yep. Nice.
So yeah, they want to subdivide the property,
Okay, just
build
trying to
on
get
it.
it in my head, so. Okay. I know
build
exactly where
build
you're
a
at.
retail front store that is, organic products and things.
Yeah, no,
for the-
that's-
Fresh
I just
goods and,
couldn't visualize where that was, but now when you said North Fawcett Road, propane.
Yeah,
I
so
know
he's
where that is.
he's already started some of the planning process.
Okay,
Yep.
great.
Thanks. Does anyone else have anything for public comment? Okay, being that there's none, we don't have any unfinished business, we're going to move on to new business. Item number 1 is the request of Marcia McQueen to appeal a fire service room charge. Is Marcia here?
Yes.
Hi, Marcia.
Hello.
So what we'd like to know is your side of the story, why you feel you shouldn't be charged this, and then the board will probably ask you a few questions, and then we'll talk amongst ourselves and figure out what we're gonna do. Fair enough?
Okay, I was in a car accident back in February, coming from, Livonia, taking my daughter to basketball practice. So when I'm coming back up 23, I'm going straight. As soon as I approach a car, there's no lights on the car. But I'm gonna run dead into him. I had to swerve over to the ditch. Apparently his car lost power. So he didn't have no hazard on or nothing. So there was nothing I could do. So me and my daughter then got threw over in the ditch. So we're sitting in the car. After that, before me, 3 or 4 cars hit the car. After me, other cars hit the car. And I know All-Star called 911 for us. And after that, people would just come into my car. We called 911. We called 911. So I was just wondering, you know, it's like a hardship for me, that $800, $700, and I was just seeing if we could, why all the other cars that was involved in the accident didn't split that bill. It was just me, and I don't even know if it's the guy that car stalled.
Actually, we did split that with another car. Did you hit any cars?
Yeah, I hit the end of his, from me running straight head on, I hit the corner of it, and we got flew over to the ditch.
Okay. I have an illustration here on a traffic ticket that shows there was one vehicle that was rear-ended by another vehicle, and then you rear-ended that vehicle. Is that reflective of what happened?
I hit the end of the guy's car, the guy that
Right.
who didn't have power, his car, I had to hit because my car got totaled off. So I got threw over to the ditch, but he was stalled
Right.
in the middle lane. Just stalled, no lights. I guess he had got off the highway somewhere, got back on, and the car just stalled. And from my understanding, people told me it was 3 or 4 other cars that was involved in that accident.
There's only 3 total.
So this is almost 10 o'clock at night. It's in the winter time.
Yes.
So in this illustration, Mike, I was looking at, it says she was car number 1?
No, she was 3.
She's car number 3.
Car number 3, yeah, all right, hold on.
It's on the police report. Don't look at the
Yeah, I
fires.
was, yeah,
See,
number
this
3,
Yeah.
number 3. So being car number 3, so you hit the car that actually hit the car without the lights?
Yeah, the guy who car stalled, we almost hit him head on until I swerved.
Well, the
So-
car that was in front of you hit another car.
Right.
another one there?
All I know is his car stalled in
Right.
the highway. They said he had got off the highway or something, he got back on.
My question is why is it divided up into 2 cars? If the original car that stalled out would have been the cause of the accident?
That's
I
right.
understand that they probably had a fault to the one car that hit another car?
Yes,
But if there
so,
were no lights or signals on that car,
but the police report does not dictate that. It says that vehicle number 2, that's the first one that we
and it
see,
was just rolling down the road, as
was
you
going
said.
slow. And because of bad roads, one wasn't paying attention, the second car wasn't paying attention and hit him, and then she had come up behind and hit the second car. So there's 3 cars involved. They cited number 1 with a ticket, the middle car,
Yeah,
because he started the accident. And then the front car didn't get anything because they were hit from behind.
right.
Was that no fault?
Why, Mike, what it sounds like is she's saying that the power in the vehicle was off. There
Well,
were
maybe
no
when
signaling,
he-
no nothing.
When he hit, maybe he lost all power.
Yeah, but that's
When you
not
originally hit.
reflective in the police report.
No.
It doesn't say that.
No, it does not say anything about lights or, and it was only 3 cars involved. And you didn't receive a ticket, right?
I don't think I did. I can't remember, you know, so much from that was a bad accident for me.
Okay.
My insurance went up, they ended up adding my 18-year-old daughter on my insurance who's away at college, that don't even drive my car. This was terrible for me, and I'm just trying to take my daughter to basketball practice.
Well, it says Unit 1, which was the middle car that initially hit it. Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 3 were all on northbound US 23. Unit 2 was driving a little slower than 70 miles per hour due to the blowing snow.
Right.
Until Unit 1 failed to stop in a clear distance and struck Unit 2, then Unit 3, which would be you, struck Unit 1, which is the one who initiated.
Correct. And he had got off the highway somewhere and got back home with this car acting like it was acting. And then he got all the way in the middle lane. I got charged the ambulance bill. I didn't go to the hospital. I had to sit in the ambulance, got charged for that, didn't go to the hospital.
So you didn't go to the hospital?
No. I went to the hospital, but my mother came and got me. But this was just very bad for me.
Okay, I'm seeing a letter that was, sent in for, you were writing to ask for a waiver of the 911. Is this written by you or someone else?
You said it in a waiver?
Someone sent a letter in, it says from Barbara. I'm assuming that's your mom's car? Mom?
Correct.
Okay, so did she send an email to us requesting this, or you sent an email requesting it? With her email?
She sent it. We sent it together.
You just use her email.
Yeah.
Okay, and in the letter, you're stating that you ended up in the ditch with your mom's car was totaled and your daughter and you were transported to Hurley Medical Center. You
Yes,
just
we
said that
went
you
to
didn't
Hurley.
go to the hospital.
We did. She took us to the hospital. She came to the scene while we sitting in the ambulance. She came and picked us up and we went to Hurley Hospital.
Okay.
Did you have insurance?
Yes.
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
I'm having a hard time picking up, I can hear some of what's being said, but I can't hear everything, but I just wanna make sure, she was the third car, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
She did not cause the accident, it was the car in front of her who hit the car,
Not the
and
initial
then she hit the
accident.
car that
Yes.
had
Yes.
already caused the accident. Okay.
Yes.
Well, that's what I had understood, I just wanted to.
Because what I'm trying to find out here is if anybody was cited.
Yeah, car number 1 in the diagram is cited. It's
You have a city has hazardous action or,
Yeah, they're always so hard to find
right
here.
here. Where's car number 1? No, you're on the wrong car, go back. It's right here.
Yeah. Citation issue.
Yeah. And typically, they only cite one
Yeah, so
car in an accident. and it's usually-
you were not cited.
No. I feel like that.
Okay.
Was the other car driver cited?
Yes.
I'm not finding it. Oh, he,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes, the other driver was cited.
okay. So that she was not.
She was not.
So we took the 2 that caused the accident, one, the second car, the first car, and you that hit the second car, and we split the bill in half, right, the
Right.
firearm. So each owing $709.50.
Right. Being that she wasn't cited, and that other vehicle didn't have lights on.
It doesn't state that in the record,
Well,
in the police report.
you know, well, that was her testimony, and, you know, usually when you plow into somebody at 70 miles an hour, your electrical system's pretty much shot.
Maybe,
So, I don't know, what do you guys wanna do with it? Did you have any questions for her, any more questions for her? Is there anything else you wanna say to us?
I just want y'all to forgive me. I mean, I just drove from Flint too scared. I don't know how to get scared it was. You just think that's gonna happen again. A car just gonna stop. You would never never imagine that in your life. I'm doing
Yeah.
65 coming out, and people going around me mad, but it's just freaked me out.
I can imagine,
So
I
would it
don't
be-
want to hurt.
Would it be normal that as you're driving along, yeah, you're supposed to be traveling a safe distance
Right.
and weather conditions and whatever, you're supposed to be able to have that. But if one car is clearly the ignition source for the accident, at some point, sometimes things are unavoidable,
Right.
Fair enough.
you know? She doesn't appear to have the ticket.
Right.
Um, You know, if we're gonna be sharing the cost of things, I mean, not one of these cars are within the township. First car lives in Linden.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't initiate the accident, whatever.
Actually, just the perpetrator of the problem, I think, and I'm not sure that that's, I have to look at the address, but it says that, so.
So as far as all this is concerned, typically would the second car be getting a ticket? Would they be at fault? I mean, I know it's a rear ending and usually when that happens, whoever hits another car
It's
is at a fault and get a ticket, but there's no ticket issued here.
Well, they said that, they only give one citation per accident normally. Even if there's multiple people at fault, they only give one ticket. Whether that's right, wrong, or indifferent,
Right.
that's what they do.
So, I guess being a piece of the domino, I'm looking for feedback here. I mean, and if you're putting
No,
the
I-
dominoes set up there, I mean, what, the first,
No,
the first one
no, you're-
initiates.
no one's arguing, I don't think anybody's arguing or in disagreement.
So if we were gonna split the
Comments.
bill up, why wouldn't we split it up with all of them? You got one person technically at fault for igniting the issue.
Is there anybody else that has a different opinion than Chuck's?
I can't really hear what he's saying.
Well, he's saying that she did not create the accident,
Correct. I
and,
agree.
I guess he's looking to
He
see.
thinks the bill should be split in three.
I'm just saying.
We
I
probably
mean,
should have could have split the bill in three. But, that he asked why we didn't split the bill in three.
Yeah.
Well, we maybe should have billed, the second car the full amount, if they were the one that received the citation.
Yeah,
That would be car number one.
Yeah,
Correct.
which is the approximate cost of the
Yeah.
accident.
correct. I
So,
don't think anybody's in opposition to where you're going, so,
I
in
mean,
the spirit of moving things along.
So I'll move that this probably should be split three ways, so I'll move that this be amended to 1/3, and if my Cornhusker math is right, 1/3 of $1,433 is $477.66.
Is that where you were gonna go with that?
Is that right? You can check my Cornhusker math, but I got $20, says I'm right.
you know, I had a cheap calculator in the office earlier, it's like, same thing.
477.66. It's actually pretty close to 5, it's kind of, yeah. So,
So, that was a motion, right, or Dave?
Yeah.
So,
How will
is
we
what?
support that?
477.66.
Can you repeat what that motion was?
So the motion was to split it three ways, and the math on that was how much?
477.
What?
67.
477.
477.67.
Does that know you're questioning my math?
We would just bill that car number one, actually,
Well,
the first car.
yeah, let's take a vote on it, because we do have a
Well,
motion.
that's fine, then vote down my motion.
Or you can withdraw your motion.
Okay, I'll withdraw the motion.
Okay, so the motion's been withdrawn. Did you have a motion that you wanted to make, Marcy?
Me,
Well, if I was gonna make the motion, I would make a motion to waive the fee to Marcia
they've already paid in full, I don't know if we can go back and rebill. So I guess the appeal is that she's asking for appeal to waive her portion of the bill. So I think the motion should be tailored more towards the request. And then I'll look into that, see if that can actually be done.
So moved.
Okay.
Support.
All right, well then I'll make that motion.
Too
To
late.
wait,
David made that motion.
sorry.
And we had the Schultz and the Schulz,
I'm sorry. I
so
can't
just
hear.
pick one of them. Supported it. So it's been motioned and supported to waive Marcia McLean's fire run service charges. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. We'll send you a letter telling you that you don't owe us anything.
Okay,
Thank you for showing up and talking to us tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, be careful out there tonight, okay?
Yeah. I'll go back doing my 65 back at Flint.
All right, have a good night. Item number 2 is the request of Ron Gordon to revise the Irish Hills PUD agreement. As you know, Ron Gordon has been operating the Fenton Trading Post under a PUD agreement that once included the Irish Hills subdivision. Don't want to bring up old history and bad pain for Ron, but he no longer owns that part of it. But there was a clause in the subdivision that told him that he would end his business in 2012. And he's basically asked the township to say, look, I want to continue operating. I've been here, I haven't had any problems, you know, it's a service to the community. Will the township board amend that PUD agreement so I can continue to operate? And I said, yeah, have your attorney put something together. So I had Chuck take a look at it, and that's what's in front of us here. And it basically, just in the short of it, just says that he can continue to operate as Fenton Trading Post, or as whatever business he wants to call it. And, you know, especially after the sewer fiasco that he went through, I am not encouraged to want to have to put somebody out of business.
So moved, but with one
Support.
correction, and that's the address is wrong.
Yes,
I noticed that when I went through it last night.
Yeah.
But,
the address is still the 104.
Yeah, it still shows the 104
Center Road.
Old Center Road. So I noticed that last night.
8420 Brendan Lane.
Yeah. So moved with that correction, so.
Support.
Thank you.
It's been motioned and supported to approve Ron Gordon's request to amend the PUD agreement with the address correction of 8420 Brendan Lake Road. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Actually, does this have to be a resolution since it's a PUD, it's an agreement? No, I don't think so. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next on the agenda is the request to support the county designator assessor to bid proposal. There's been some changes recently to part of the AMAR review. The AMAR review is basically a review. They come in, the state takes a look at the assessing. There's certain things that they have to provide and certain requirements they have to meet to pass this review. If you do not pass this review, you are given an action plan, a corrective action plan, and you have to complete those items. Under the new legislation, if you do not, then you either A, have to hire a new assessor, or B, use the county appointed assessor. So,
Or C, have the state take over your role.
right, or C, the state will take over your role. Fortunately for us, we're in a situation where we have our master assessor, who is our assessor of record, and we have our new level 3 assessor. So in the event that we did pass that, we could just just literally say, all right, you're not the assessor of record, we have a new assessor of record, we don't have to go through anything.
We can just bypass it.
We can bypass.
Okay.
Or go through the other channels. The county put this out for bid. It was a 19-page RFP. And yes,
So many
there were
options.
plenty of comments about that. I really don't wanna get into it. And, you know, I know the equalization director is under a gun, she's got a gun to her head, she had to do this, so. She,
Did you say inquisition or acquisition?
yeah.
Okay, got it.
So, she revised that proposal and sent it back out, and, basically got one bidder on it. Comments on this person are not favorable. Also to the amount of money that he's contracting, so basically he's gonna charge $175 an hour to lead our staff, or whoever's staff, if they got into this situation. And that's more than what our attorney charged us. And there are other municipalities that are not in favor. I'm certainly not in favor. Our assessors are certainly not in favor. So my recommendation would be to not support this bid proposal, make them rebid it.
You can't vote on this not to do something, so, so I'm really not making a motion, so.
Is anybody making a motion?
I don't disagree. Do we need a motion to not approve this then?
Technically, no, you're making a motion to not take action on something.
So if we don't take action on it, it's the same thing.
All right. So is it in our best interest not to take action then?
I mean, we're trying to really fire a shot over the bow. I don't think that's really necessarily the case. It's just we don't support it.
Right. And we already have qualified people that can do the job right now.
Yeah, you know, and I've spoke with other municipalities, and it seems that if we in our town, in our county, and they seem to think, hey, if anybody ever got in a situation, we would come together and figure out a way
Yeah.
to make it work. So,
To help one another.
yes. You know, our neighboring townships, we get along really well. We have good working rapport, and we help each other out all the time, so.
Mike, who is the young lady back here?
That is Alexa, she's our assessor.
Okay. Hi, Alexa.
Yes, Alexa.
Hi, can I make a brief comment on this?
Yeah.
As much as I also do not support having a designated assessor off the record, it is a state requirement now that each county has a designated assessor. Would we ever be in a situation where we needed to actually hire him? Likely not. There are other options you could do. But the new legislation says that each county needs to have one by the end of the year. So if it's not this guy, it's gonna be some other.
But I think that's the point, isn't it? The point is not a compliance issue, the point is pick somebody else. So the point
Apparently
is
he
not
was
this
the
guy.
only guy, I don't know if that's
Find another
accurate
guy.
or not.
Yeah.
It kind of looking through his bid or his resume or whatever, that he was responding to the first one and not the page and a half thing that was apparently sent out after.
And there's some discretion on how that one went out, the second one went out. So,
Okay.
Not for others.
like I said, I understand their equalization director basically has a gun to her head with this, but I just don't think this is the right person.
It's the county's problem to find the spot, fill the spot. not
Correct.
us. Yeah, so.
All right, sounds like we beat that horse, so we're gonna move on to the next one.
Which one?
Sewer REU transfer policy. Got some questions asked about this, and I went through and reviewed our sewer ordinance, and the language was vague. I didn't like it too much, and Jennifer and I talked about it. You know what, let's run it by our attorney. And our attorney said, you know, you're right, we should have some stronger language in there. Our ordinance allows us to make policies. So rather than have to go back and do a complete, public hearing, go through a public hearing, the posting requirements, and all that, we can write policies, towards our system. One of these, this is the policy we wanna make sure we're protecting our REUs. So basically, what the policy says in short is that if you own a piece of property and you sell that property, that those REUs will be conveyed during the sale. If there's unused REUs, they will be conveyed with that sale as well. It also says that if somebody wanted to sell REUs, they have to come to the township and request the township board approval to do so. They just can't go on the open market and start moving REUs around. This also states in there that the township board has things to consider before approving this. And one of the things is, what's the benefit to the township? And I think it's pretty common knowledge that we know that we have plenty of REUs to sell ourselves, and we've loaned a couple $1 million to pay the sewer bond. Until we were made whole on that, I don't see how the transfer or sale of REUs outside of us or somebody that's already been granted the authority to do so would be in our best interest. So basically, that's what this policy does. It's just added insurance to what our ordinance says, and it kind of spells it out and clarifies it, so we're not exposed in any way. So, any questions?
No.
So the people that were forced REUs can be dealt with if they have to, say they want to sell to a family member or somebody else that lives down the road that doesn't have an REU. There was a point where they didn't have any choice but to have them. Is that not correct?
And that's still more or less the case,
And we
but they would have to
lost-
come to us to request it.
But it has triggered foreclosures, tax foreclosures,
Right.
because of these debts that were forced. So, does it still maintain that no matter what, if they're assigned to that property, that they were the owner from when it was originated, no matter what, there's no,
It has to come before the board.
Yeah.
They have to come and ask.
Everybody has to come before the board.
okay, but, just saying, like, I guess my question is can the board make a choice to allow them to sell them some way, or spread them on other property maybe that they own that don't have a.
What was that example we were talking about, if there was gonna be a big development?
So let's say we had,
That'll happen.
somebody that came in and says, look, I got 400 REUs on this property, it's 400 acres, I'm gonna develop 200 of it. And if you don't move my REUs, I can't develop. Then we'd wanna sit down and see where the benefit to the township is, and where those REUs would go. Would it go on to another property that they have? Would they be conveyed back to the township? Those were the things that would have to be discussed. When REUs were originally conveyed, there was an appeal process for that, and that's the Michigan Tax Tribunal. I don't know if anybody utilized that process or not, or was even given that option, but that's how that appeal should have gone.
Just a question.
But there's also.
It's a valid question.
There's also undue hardship language in there too, that says the board could choose to, if they could demonstrate an undue hardship.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
so there is a clause there for that.
So there's undue hardship is fairly subjective, so I mean, that gives the board some authority and some ability to,
Leeway.
yeah, it gives them certainly a wider berth than just says no. Yeah, so.
My big thing is to keep a tax base on said pieces of property, if we could make a decision on that. That's like what you're saying, that
Sure.
there's a hardship, because when they lose that property.
It gives us a little bit more flexibility than what we had, and it also gives us a clear-cut process to do it. And
Well,
it
to your point.
also protects other people, it protects the township from other people.
Yeah, so to your.
Starting a
point-
black market of REUs out there.
Yeah, right, and to your point, that would be to the benefit of the township. Right, you would want that property to stay in the tax rolls, you'd want it to continue all in, so you could easily make the case that that's a benefit to the township.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions?
So do we have situations where property is transferred?
It's a residential equivalent unit, and it's based on, the amount
Density.
of gallons per day per household. And I think we have it at 225, I don't know the exact number, but that's what an REU is.
I think he's looking for
Mhm.
okay, I think he was looking for a simpler
Yeah.
explanation, which is sewer
Let me
tap.
fix.
The answer is
Residents on the
sewer tap. REU equals sewer tap.
It's a sewer tap. Any other questions, comments?
Do we have situations where property is transferred but the REUs have not?
Not to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
But this just spells it out a little bit more.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
The language was vague, and I didn't feel comfortable with it, so.
That would have been in there if somebody had multiple pieces of property, sold one, took
Sold
some of their
one.
REUs and put it on a different.
Wanted to
piece of
move it to another
property.
parcel.
Yeah, so they could sell the property,
Right.
leave it on somebody else, so
Or if-
now we have the control over that.
Would this also prevent someone from subdividing property that has inactive REUs on it and moving them to a certain portion of that property?
No, if they have 10 acres and 10 REUs,
Right,
if they sell 5 acres, 5 REUs goes with that property.
right, I mean, but there's no way for them to subdivide a 10-acre piece of property and move 9 of them.
No, the board's gonna take a look at that, and,
Right,
it's gonna be dimensionally divided to the REUs.
Right. right, it would
I
be,
think
it
that's
would be assessed then according to,
Not the proper engineering term, but
Right.
yeah,
I think we understand, so. Any other questions?
so I move we adopt it then,
Okay.
the policy.
Been motioned and supported to adopt the REU transfer policy. It was motioned by Kurt Schultz. It was, oh, I'm sorry, it is a resolution.
I resolve.
So the motion has been withdrawn and Kurt Schultz has resolved and Chuck Schultz has supported. Any further discussion? All in favor signify, or actually, Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Herman Ferguson,
Aye.
That's a yes.
Yes.
Chuck Schultz,
Yes.
That's a yes.
David Walker,
Yes,
That's a yes.
Kurt Schultz,
Yes,
That's a yes.
Jennifer Eden,
Yes?
Yes.
yes, okay, and Mike,
Yes.
and I say yes.
Thank you. And item number 5 is revision to the emergency cost recovery ordinance. We send, our people don't pay their emergency cost recovery bills, we send them to a collection agency. The legal counsel for the collection agency saw a discrepancy within our ordinance with some of the new legislation that has come out that kind of hinders their ability to collect on these past few fire runs. So she offered some language that we needed, sent it over to Chuck. He amended it and sent it back to us. So this is more or less just doing some housekeeping so our collection agency can continue to do what it does.
so is the change only this highlighted item?
Yes.
It's also a resolution.
Yeah.
How much did we spend to get that line drawn and that highlighted?
Not much.
Okay, good, so
Not that
resolved.
much.
Support.
It's been resolved by, was it Jennifer?
Walker.
Walker, supported by Chuck Schultz, to amend, or to revise the emergency response cost covered in the ordinance.
All right.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Bert Schultz,
Yes.
Jennifer Eden,
Yes,
Mike Cunningham,
Yes,
Herman Ferguson,
Yes.
that's a yes.
Chuck Schultz,
Yes.
That's a yes.
and David Walker.
Yes.
That's a yes.
That's unanimous.
You got a yes too? Marcy? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we have no more new business. We don't have any miscellaneous business. Public remark. Does anybody have any public comments? We'll start with Zoom. Anyone?
Yeah, I just, the people I can hear, on the Zoom, I'm not familiar with it, that's why I was on late. I was actually on early, but, you know, messing around with it. Well, I can just hear naturally myself, you, and Marcy. But the other people I can't hear when they're speaking. They're on mute or whatever. Can I correct that, or is that just something in the system that I don't hear?
That might be our system. We are working to improve our technology here, so that our internal microphones that we have hook up with Zoom. We've actually had somebody come out and take a look at it. They had to get a few things and they're gonna come back and get hooked up for us. So, yeah, it's a little rough. And if there's something that needs to be repeated, all you have to do is ask, and we'll be more than glad to repeat it because, you know.
Well, we just don't hear it, you know, when somebody's speaking.
Sure.
I wouldn't understood, might not have understood it anyhow, but you know, it's nice to hear the other people speaking too.
Yeah.
What they're saying about certain things. You know, it's enlightening. That's all I just had to add.
Thank you, David.
It was good to be on this end of it because I can relate to what you're hearing because I was having the same trouble. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll have to look into trying to fix, even if it's maybe
Yeah.
getting some
Yep.
extra microphones.
Yeah, we've already looked into it, and Randon's on it, and
Okay.
I just have to give him another nudge and make sure he can get over here and get this thing done. I'd like to have it done as soon as possible. Our system does have the ability to facilitate, exactly what David was speaking about, what you're speaking about, so. Hopefully we can get it done soon. It's in the works, though.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for asking. All right, any other public comment? No more on Zoom here? All right, we have none. So I'll go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned and supported to adjourn the meeting. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you. And thank you all for tuning in on Zoom, and you guys have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
just wanted to get them all in. That's what you guys-
That's right. That's right. Go over the bang.
There you go.
Quick draw.
If you think about
So it's
it.
gonna